Hey there, it's Amy Beltran, CEO and founder of Irresistible University and the Irresistible You podcast. I help women lose the emotional weight so they can look and feel irresistible at any size. Now, I just published a podcast all about loving yourself before you get to goal weight. This episode is so important for women that struggle with weight, with losing weight, with loving their bodies, with putting their life on hold because they're waiting to get to this magic number, whether it's on the scale or it's a size in your jeans. There's a problem with that because putting all of your hope and faith into this magic number is setting you up to fail. Because you don't just get to goal weight. You don't just get to this size that you've been wanting to fit into. And it's like, bam, I feel good. Like I'm confident. I love myself. Like if it was only that easy, right? So the problem is you look in the mirror, you're standing there naked, you're disgusted. You can't stand what you see. You just don't want to look. You don't want to touch yourself. You're just grossed out. And so you tell yourself, I'll just start a diet. I'll just get on a diet. I'm going to get the weight off. I'm going to go on this crash diet. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to like hermit crab in the house for a few weeks, a few months, however long it takes. And I'm not going to go and see people. I'm not going to like make my grand entrance until I get the weight off. So you've put these insane expectations around yourself with this crazy timeline, this crazy diet that has all these restrictions. So what happens? You get a couple days into it, maybe a couple weeks into it, and all hell breaks loose, okay? Like, next thing you know, you're hitting up the drive-thru, you're eating all the things, you've got 6 cupcakes in your mouth, and you keep telling yourself, I suck, I'm just a failure, I'm destined to be fat and miserable forever, I can't lose the weight, and if I don't lose the weight, I'm never going to care about myself, so I'm just going to give up, okay? The problem with that is because you don't love yourself. And I know it's tricky because you're like, well, how do I love myself when I don't like my body? You kind of have to like separate the two for a minute, if you will, because the reason in your mind that you keep starting and stopping and failing is because you don't believe in yourself. So you give up before you've even given anything a chance. And you give up on yourself because you can't stick to this like ridiculous diet that tells you can only have grapefruit and nuts or whatever you're doing. You don't stick with it because you're telling yourself you have to work out 90 minutes a day at a gym and you can't stand going to the gym. And if you're doing things that you hate, if you're doing things out of hating yourself, how the hell do you expect to have that be successful for you? Right? Like, you've got to do things that you enjoy, that don't feel like you're living in hell. And that comes from losing weight and wanting to work on your body image from a place of, I don't 100% love myself today, but I know that I will. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to become that person and to get to where I want to be, right? Versus, I can't stand myself. I'm disgusting. I can't look in the mirror. I'm gross. I'm this, I'm that. I'm going to do the crash diet. I'm going to get it off in 6 weeks or 6 months, and I'm just going to be done. See what I'm saying? There's a big difference between approaching this from a place of love and compassion for yourself versus hatred and disgust. And what we've all been conditioned, thanks to diet culture, thanks to the society that we live in, is that we have to feel disgusting and gross if we're not in the perfect body. How dare you be confident in a size 14? How dare you be confident over 200 pounds, right? Like, so that's the conditioning that's been given. And so we think there's something wrong with us. And so we keep telling ourselves that we suck, we can't do this, we're a failure. And so then we have all this guilt and shame, and the whole yo-yo diet, body hate, shame cycle, it keeps going and going and going and going until when? It stops when you decide it has to stop. And that's what I help you navigate through. And that's what I talk about in this particular podcast episode. I really go into the reasons why you're staying stuck, why, giving up on yourself and beating yourself up is not self-love, and it's making you feel miserable. It's making you feel stuck, and why we have to stop putting ourselves, our lives, our self-care, and all of that stuff on hold for the weight. Okay. And also why, like, losing weight cannot be done in a bubble. Trying to better yourself can't be done in a bubble, right? Because it's a journey, and it's not just about the weight. It's affecting all areas of your life. So if you haven't listened to that, I want you to go and check it out. The link is down below, or you can just type Irresistible You into any major podcast player. My podcast will come up. Hit subscribe, and based on your settings, you should get a notification every single time there's a new episode, which I publish a new episode every single week. So I hope you check that out. Let me know in the comments down below, what keeps stopping you? What is it that stops you every single time when you get on this cycle? Is it because you're beating yourself up? Are you telling yourself you can't do it? What is it that makes you feel like you have to keep throwing in the towel? All right. I will talk to you guys soon. Until then, stay irresistible. Bye.